If you've made it this far, you've probably hit that unsettling moment when your spiritual journey just stalls. One day you were riding high, picking up signs, feeling in sync with the universe, and the next, you're stuck in a void that feels like it'll never end. Today I'm going to spill the beans on why this moment, which might seem like the worst part of your journey, is actually the most game-changing of all. There's this thing in the spiritual journey that few teachers have the guts to talk about openly. It's that phase where you wake up every day hoping for a sign, a synchronicity, some kind of proof you're on the right track, but all you get is silence. A silence that echoes in your soul like the universe straight up forgot you exist. Whether you're someone chasing your twin flame and suddenly all those magic coincidences vanish, or working on self-love and feeling like you've lost touch with yourself, or even searching for your life's purpose and finding that nothing makes sense like it used to, this moment will come. And when it does, it's going to make you question everything. You might be wondering right now, why is this happening to me? Am I screwing something up? Did I lose my spiritual connection? The answer is going to blow your mind, because this silence isn't abandonment. It's an invitation to the deepest work your soul can do. For years we pile up layer after layer of conditioning. The voices of our parents telling us who we should be, society's expectations about what success looks like, the collective fears we soak up from social media, the news, the conversations we overhear. Without realizing it, our soul becomes like an onion, loaded with layers that aren't ours but that we carry like they're our true identity. Now picture your soul deciding to do a full-on spring cleaning, not a quick tidy-up like when you straighten the house for guests, but a deep clean like when you're moving and have to decide what's actually worth taking to your new place. That silent period, it's exactly that. Your soul's doing an energetic declutter, stripping away everything that's not truly you. What makes this process so tough is that it happens in dimensions our logical mind can't tap into. We're used to measuring progress with concrete results: how many pounds we lost, how much cash we made, how many courses we took. But the deepest spiritual transformation happens on frequencies so subtle it can take months or even years to show up. In our physical reality, it's like planting a fruit tree. You don't plant a seed on Monday expecting to eat fruit by Friday. There's a whole invisible process going on: roots spreading, the trunk strengthening, nutrients getting absorbed. On the surface, for a long time, it looks like nothing's happening. But beneath the soil, a full-on revolution is underway. During this period, you might feel this weird sensation of living in slow motion while the world around you races at normal speed. Conversations that used to seem interesting now feel shallow. Activities that once gave you energy now seem to suck the life out of you. People you used to connect with easily now feel like they're speaking a completely different language from yours. This doesn't mean you've turned arrogant or cut yourself off from the world. In fact, it's the opposite. You're tuning into a frequency of authenticity so refined that it's hard to engage with anything fake or forced. It's like your inner filters have gotten crazy sensitive, letting only genuine experiences pass through to your awareness. A lot of people freak out at this point and try to force something to happen. They desperately hunt for external signs, make drastic life changes hoping to shake up the energy, or dive into intense spiritual practices thinking it'll speed things up. But that's like trying to force a butterfly out of its cocoon before its transformation is done. You might wreck the whole process that was unfolding naturally. Modern society has conditioned us to dread emptiness and silence. We live in a culture that equates constant movement with progress and stillness with failure. Our phones bombard us with notifications every minute. Our schedules are always packed. And when we finally get a free moment, we immediately look for something to fill the gap. But there's an ancient wisdom our civilization forgot. The void is sacred because it's where true creation happens. It's in the silence that seeds sprout. It's in the darkness that stars shine. It's in the pause between breaths that life renews itself. Mystics from every tradition knew that before any major manifestation, there has to be a period of gestation in the void. When you learn to sit in that space without trying to escape it, something incredible starts to happen. You find a profound fullness in the apparent emptiness, a powerful action in the stillness, an intimate connection with yourself that doesn't rely on external stimuli or other people's validation. During this time, your relationship with solitude transforms completely. What once felt haunting now becomes a sacred space of communion with deeper parts of yourself that rarely get a chance to speak amid the chaos of daily life. You might find that your inner conversations are richer than many of the external ones you used to have. One of the most fascinating things that happens during this recalibration period is how your intuition starts to sharpen in surprising ways. Paradoxically, while your logical mind might be more confused than ever, a more refined kind of knowing starts to emerge. You might start having dreams that are more vivid and packed with symbolism. Subtle synchronicities that would have gone unnoticed before now catch your eye. Sudden moments of clarity pop up out of nowhere, bringing deep insights into situations you've been trying to figure out logically for months. This happens because when you stop trying to control the process with your conscious mind, deeper channels of perception get room to open up. It's like you've spent your whole life listening to an orchestra through a radio with static, and finally the signals tuned in perfectly, letting you hear every instrument with crystal clear precision. Your ability to sense energies expands. You might pick up on someone lying before they even finish talking. Places that used to feel neutral now reveal their energetic vibes. Some spots instantly boost your energy, while others drain your vitality just by being there. Now, we need to tackle one of the biggest traps in the spiritual journey, the fantasy of the happy ending. A lot of us grew up on stories that end with, "and they lived happily ever after," where all problems get tied up in a big dramatic climax and everything falls perfectly into place. That cultural programming sneaks deep into our spiritual journey. We start chasing that magical moment when everything will click, when we'll meet our twin flame in a scene straight out of a rom-com, when we'll have a sudden revelation about our life's purpose, when all our problems will vanish, once and for all. But the truth is, the spiritual life doesn't work like a Hollywood movie. Real transformation doesn't happen in one dramatic epiphany, but in thousands of small, everyday awakenings. True union, whether with another person, your purpose, or your deepest essence, isn't about some spectacular external event. When we talk specifically about twin flames or deep connections, it's super easy to get obsessed with the other person. Are they coming back? Do they feel the same way? What do I need to do to make this happen? But that outward fixation is exactly what keeps the real union from happening. The real journey isn't about controlling someone else's behavior or waiting for them to make a specific choice. It's about you becoming the version of yourself that's genuinely ready to receive love, self-love, love from the universe, and maybe love from someone special. There's a fundamental shift that needs to happen in your consciousness, and it's so subtle it can slip by if you're not paying attention. It's the switch from chasing external proof to trusting your inner wisdom. For years, you might have looked for validation outside yourself. Signs in the sky, repeating numbers, crazy coincidences, other people's opinions, tarot cards, astrological charts. These can all be helpful tools, but if you rely on them to make decisions or feel secure, you're outsourcing your inner authority. True, spiritual maturity kicks in when you build unshakable trust in your own inner compass. That doesn't mean ignoring outside guidance, but using your intuition as the main filter for any information that comes your way. When you make that shift, something magical happens. You stop seeking approval and start seeking alignment. You stop trying to prove your worth and start expressing your essence. You stop chasing love and start radiating love. This inner shift shows up right away in your outer reality. Shallow relationships naturally fade away, while authentic connections are magnetically drawn into your life. Career opportunities that vibe with your purpose start popping up in ways you could never have planned. Here's a truth that might sound paradoxical. The less you need something external to feel complete, the more it tends to show up naturally in your life. When you become genuinely whole, not because you fixed all your problems, but because you deeply accept who you are, you become magnetic in a totally new way. People start getting drawn to your presence, even if you're not trying to impress anyone. There's something in your energy that screams authenticity, and in a world full of masks and facades, Authenticity shines like a light in the middle of the darkness. This doesn't mean you become perfect or that challenges disappear. It means you've developed a quality of presence that doesn't depend on external circumstances. You might be going through tough times, but there's an inner stability, a deep peace that stays untouched by life's storms. When it comes to romantic relationships, that magnetic quality works in a super specific way. Instead of looking for someone to fill your emotional gaps, you seek someone to share your fullness. Instead of trying to mold the other person to fit your romantic fantasy, you get curious about who they really are beneath all the social layers. All this transformation we're talking about doesn't just happen by osmosis. It takes consistent practice to reconnect with who you really are under all the expectations, fears, and conditioning you carry. It doesn't have to be complicated or woo-woo. It can be as simple as taking a walk in nature without earbuds, tuning into the sounds around you and the sensations in your body. It can be listening to a song that truly lights you up, not as background noise, but as a full-on experience you let sink into every cell of your being. One especially powerful practice is writing a letter to yourself, not a to-do list or goals, but a genuine celebration of who you're becoming. Acknowledge the progress you've made, even if it's not visible to others. Give thanks for the unique qualities you bring to the world, even if you're not quite sure how to express them yet. The most important question you can ask yourself regularly is, what makes me feel truly alive? Not what should make you feel alive, not what makes others feel alive, but what genuinely sparks a fire inside you. Then take one small, concrete step in that direction. As you weave these insights into your daily life, you might notice your relationship with the idea of a spiritual journey starts to shift. Instead of being something you do at specific times, during meditations, rituals, or workshops, it becomes a way of being in the world. You might be washing dishes and suddenly realize there's something sacred in the repetitive motion of your hands in warm water. You might be waiting for the bus and notice how every person passing by carries a unique and precious story. You might be having a random conversation and suddenly feel a deep connection to the shared humanity linking you to the other person. That's real spirituality. Not an escape from ordinary reality, but a way of finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. It's not about chasing spectacular mystical experiences, but about bringing a sacred presence to every moment of your life. If you've made it this far, you probably see something of yourself in this journey I've described. Maybe you're right in the middle of that sacred silence, wondering if you're on the right path. Or maybe you've already been through that phase and are integrating the transformations it brought. Either way, I want to leave you with this core truth. Your spiritual journey isn't a race with a clear finish line. It's an eternal unfolding, an endless dance between who you are and who you're becoming. Every phase, including the ones that feel stuck or tough, is a vital part of your growth. The universe hasn't forgotten you during those silent periods. In fact, that's when you're getting the most careful, loving attention possible. It's when your soul is being prepped for levels of awareness and connection you can't even imagine yet. Trust the process. Honor your unique timing. And always, remember, you're not just going through a spiritual journey. You are the spiritual journey. Every breath, every choice, every moment of doubt, and every flash of clarity are part of the sacred dance of your soul, finding its way back home. And that home isn't a place you need to reach. It's who you've always been, patiently waiting to be rediscovered beneath all the layers the world piled on you. The invitation is always open. The door is always unlocked. You just need to remember where the key is, and it's always been in your own heart.